Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another slightly out-of-the-box review for Dark Souls, the board game. Dark Souls, the board game was created by Steamforged Games, and it's also officially licensed by Bandai Namco. It's made to be played by between 1 and 4 players. You can even do a single campaign if you'd like, but it really is fun to play with a couple of your friends. And the box estimates that it would take about 90 minutes to play. Now I find the time estimate to not be quite true. My friends and I played through and beat the mini boss in about 2.5 hours, and that's only half of the game. You can play and fight through the mini boss, a main boss, or even a super boss if you happen to have the expansions. I don't have the expansions, so this review is just going to be on the base game only. What we're doing now, and something that I suggest to you also, is if you only have a limited time to play with friends, say if you don't have the entire day and you only have a few hours, you can always set up your game, set up your board, and then when you're done playing for the day or for the evening, take a picture of your character card, take a picture of the dungeons, and keep your inventory in one place. That's what we did. We did a second session where we just level ground after doing the mini boss, and then we're gonna go ahead afterward and continue on to the main boss. And because we were able to keep records of how our characters were doing, we were able to play the game in several sessions quite seamlessly. But just note that this game will take you well more than 90 minutes, probably several hours at the very least, or several sessions, which is the case with me and my friends. One of my favorite moments from unboxing the game, as you just saw, was just that moment of realization that this is in fact going to be similar to your video gaming experience with Dark Souls. I have to start out though by giving a huge nod to the overall artwork of the game. It really is stunning. And you start out by using character sheets. You'll find a lot of these character classes quite familiar. I personally used the assassin build and I was very happy. I used what I did in Dark Souls 1, which was a part dexterity, part intelligence build, and I was not at all disappointed. This even comes with the backstab skill, which I found to be very fluid and even in tandem with the way that I play the video game. I had a friend who was a herald because he loves to heal, and then my partner was, of course, a warrior because she usually is. And then of course you have the lone knight in his kick-ass Dark Souls helmet. In addition to having beautiful character sheets, they also really have some very interesting dungeon layouts. They are double-sided, which is really cool, and you can set them up yourself based on your own preferences. So if you want to have a certain layout, the rulebook makes it clear that you can set these up exactly in any way that you see fit. If you find one block particularly to be pretty attractive, you can definitely use it and lay it out however you like. The way that the bosses happen to work is that the fog gate is set up on the square that is the farthest from your bonfire. One artistic element that I truly believe is worth the price of this game in and of itself are the boss figurines. Look at how beautiful and detailed they are. We have the Titanite Demon, the Bell Gargoyle, Outrider Knight in the end. And of course we have, let me turn her over, probably did this to make her fit. We got Dancer of the Boreal Valley right here. Where the frig is Ornstein? Ah, there's Ornstein. What are you doing here? Ornstein is so tiny compared to Smo and everyone else. Like, oh, look how little. You can tell that Smo is the bear in this relationship. We have Smo and his best bud Ornstein right here, as well as You Don't Belong. She doesn't even go here. You also have the Dancer of the Boreal Valley here, Ornstein and Smo right here. My friends and I, what we did was we started out with the Titanite Demon as a mini boss, because I do think of him as a mini boss in Dark Souls 1 as he appears just here and there in different levels. And for the main boss, we picked Dancer of the Boreal Valley because she was actually one of my favorites in Dark Souls 3 to play. It gave me a special pleasure to pop in the video that I had of me playing the Dancer as kind of homework for us to get to know her moveset really well. That's something that will be an asset as you play. If you already played Dark Souls the video game, whether it's 1 or 3, which a lot of these bosses are based off of, you're going to already have a good set of knowledge to start you out and to be able to help you to strategize throughout the entire experience. Now these figures are so detailed and so accurate that you could even prime and paint them if you wanted. I'm keeping mine generic for now, but hey, that might be a future project for if I get bored or if I need something artistic to do. Playing with friends was also a special experience for me as a seasoned Dark Souls player. I played with my partner who Dark Souls isn't quite her cup of tea. She prefers a relaxing or adventurous RPG instead. Then my other friend who physically is not capable of playing Dark Souls the video game, but he loves the lore. So being able to share that experience with both of them was really special, and both of them ended up really enjoying the experience just like I did as a fan. So whether you're new to the game or whether you are a seasoned player as well, I think that you are going to have a great time playing it. I also find that comparatively to the video game, although there's no lore, the gameplay feels very similar. The emphasis on dodging and blocking is very important, just like it is with the game. It's important to be patient and plan out your moves ahead of time. So if you have a character that is easily able to block, you block, or in my case, I use the assassin build, you are able to dodge a little bit more easily. So you can pick and choose what type of build you're going for and what type of playstyle you're going for based on your own personal preferences. I did find that it could be kind of confusing at times, but then again, that's a common thing that I experience with these new board games that have a lot of individual rules. Sometimes I get a little bit confused and I need the help of a friend. Luckily, my friend was very well versed on the rule book and he was able to explain everything nice and neatly to all of us. One small critique that I have is that the game is arguably more difficult than the video game, in that the video game is designed to be tough but fair. And although you will have your hangups, you do feel that in the game. The game is designed for you to keep pushing forward and forward and forward. Although you lose experience if you die, eventually you find that, hey, I can get that experience back. It is okay. It eventually doesn't feel like you're punished so much anymore for dying. And you can die an infinite amount of times. There is no continues, there's no game overs that you have to seek. Instead, you can do it as many times as you need to get better. However, in the game, you'll find that it contains sparks, which every time that you die and have to reload at the bonfire, a spark goes away. And when the sparks are gone, it's game over. So in that fashion, it's definitely harder than the video game. In addition, another critique that I have is that you share a stamina bar with your HP. So I would honestly prefer if that was not the case. So many times you'll use a certain amount of stamina doing a move, but then it will fail, and then you'll get one-shotted by your enemy, so then you have to use a spark and then worry about possibly doing a game over. You might even want to establish a few house rules in order to negate this or keep you guys playing on and on, because I think that it would be very disheartening to completely lose and do a game over and have to start all over again. Another system that I wish they had improved upon a bit was the souls system. For example, every time that you clear any of the rooms, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3, you get the same amount of souls upon clearing it. Now, that all seems well and good. However, in the video game, the more difficult the level, the more souls you end up getting. So you lose a little bit of that sense of accomplishment in the end of no matter what you clear a room, you get the same amount of souls. I do wish that the higher the level, the more souls you got. It would make the gameplay feel a bit more balanced as well. So that's another thing that if you wanted to do house rules and say, hey, in level 2+ difficulty, we get 8 souls instead of 6, that's something that I even recommend to you. It makes the gameplay a little bit more balanced. The experience of the boss fights are truly this game at its best. I found that the experience of fighting the bosses was extremely similar to the video game in that the bosses have a set amount of moves that you can pick pretty much at random, and it will do that in order. And so you have to anticipate and think a little bit ahead on what they're going to do. For example, I chose the Titanite Demon as our mini boss. Luckily, we beat the Titanite Demon on the first try because we were able to plan, anticipate the moveset, and then join together with our individual characters and our individual builds to beat him. And on the moment that we beat him, all of us jumped out of our seats, praised the sun, and had a great time. I found that it was really similar to when you beat a boss in the video game that you've been struggling with for a really long time. You feel that total sense of euphoria and accomplishment because you know that you have overcome a really difficult obstacle. That's one way that I truly appreciated and loved the experience of playing this game. And I was able to share that with my friends as well, who were new to the Dark Souls experience. Although there are a couple suggestions that I would make to improve the game, overall I think that that obstacle and sense of accomplishment type of feeling that you get from playing the video game was translated seamlessly in the board game itself. I think that it's an excellent experience, and in terms of recommendation, I give it a huge thumbs up for both new players and completely seasoned Dark Souls fans. I think that those two types of players will easily be able to come together through this and have a great experience. Now that's it for this one. Have you played the Dark Souls game? What was your experience like? I think that every group of people who have played it have had different hang-ups, different triumphs with it. So feel free to let me know in the comments down below how you felt about the game or whether or not you're excited about playing it. I even think that Dark Souls the board game would be an excellent holiday gift for the gamer in your life. What do you think about the Dark Souls board game? Feel free to give me a like if you enjoyed this video and give me a comment down below. So I hope you guys have an awesome day or night wherever you are. Be good to each other, and I'll see you on the next one. Stop flying around, you died. Thinks he can tell me what to do. This week we have another slightly out of the box game review for... I don't know what direction anything is. Soul Cinder. Okay. And it is a... Dark Souls the board game was made by... Magic missile! It's made from my friends and I, what we... Oh, yes. You're testing my patience just like you did in the real game. I usually consider the Titanite Demon a mini-boss anyway, as the... Is it a he? They have a male chest, so I'm gonna say yes. just determining the sex of the Titanite Demon here. Is it a catalyst? This is gonna be like 80% bloopers.